Just basically neck up. Alright? So, I'm supposed to officially use.
I haven't played with it much.
So we're going to start. We have our external nares, which is your nostril. Where the boogers live would be the vestibule. And then you're going to go through these three things, which are the what?
Conchaetus?
Concave. The bumps are the concave. You're right, the hole's the meatus. So you have A, B, and C. Which one's A?
Superior.
B? Middle. And C?
Inferior.
Yeah, so you have the concha, which is the bump, and the meatus, so superior, middle, inferior, meatus. Then you're going to go around this nostril, which would be your internal nares, this corner, and then head on down. So now we have some things. We have this hole here you learned last term. What came out of that hole last term?
Oh my goodness.
Auditory tube. Very good. Auditory tube, eustachian tube, pharyngotympanic tube.
Good job.
Very good. And then you have this big tonsil next to that. What tonsil is that? No, not palatine. Pharyngeal, also called your adenoid. That's up here. So I'm going to curve and go down. So that was my nasopharynx. I'm going to be my oropharynx, which is back here. So I have my hard palate, my soft palate, my uvula, and that's my palatine tonsil back there, and my lingual tonsils on my tongue. Then I'm going to go down into here, which is my laryngopharynx, back of my throat down. So I have basically my epiglottis is the flap, and then I have my larynx down here. So I have my naso, oro, laryngopharynxes. Make sense? So now I need a larynx from somebody. Bring me said larynx. Give me that one over there. Wait, I'm hearing. Who are you people? Alright, so just to get your bearings, this and that are the same.
Okay.
Alright, so what we're going to do is blue is cartilage. So we're going to name this cartilage here. It's hyaline May, but it's thyroid, the thyroid cartilage, because your thyroid gland lives on it. Then you have this one below that, which every EMT talks about, is your cricoid, or cricoid. And these are on your trachea, these are tracheal. So you have thyroid, cricoid, tracheal cartilages. Then there's cartilages on the back. The funny curved one is the arytenoid. The tip of it is the corniculate. I do. And then the little bump you can't see, which should be blue, is the cuneiform. So you have arytenoid, corniculate, and cuneiform. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So everything blue. Now you have to name the things between the blues. So you have this big sheet of stuff here. This would be your thyrohyoid membrane. Then you have this sheet of stuff here. Can you guess what that's going to be called? Cricothyroid ligament. Then this sheet of stuff here is going to be your cricotracheal ligament. So you name them between the two things they're with. Make sense? Fantastic. What do you call your Adam's apple in Dr. Land?
Like prominence.
Very good. The prominence, laryngeal prominence. So we're going to open this up. Then inside, if you're coming down, you have two bumps. The top one's called your false vocal cord or vestibular fold. It's fine. The bottom one is your true vocal cord. So the top one is the fake, the bottom one's the real.
Okay.
All right? And then that's your larynx. Now you're in your trachea. So let's do that. How did I hear you? All right. Hi. All right.
Sorry.
So our trachea goes down, and then number 8 is where it splits. That's called your carina, or carina. And then 6 and 7 have names. What do you call 6 and 7? What kind of bronchus?
Primary.
Primary, or main. Then notice number 6 and 7 both branch. What do you call the next branch? Secondary, also called lobars. And then those that branch again, like out here, what do you call those? Segmental or tertiary. So do 1, 2, 3, primary, secondary, tertiary, or you can say main, lobar, segmental. They're the same.
Okay.
On our lungs, we have a tip up here. What do you call the pointy part?
Apex.
Apex. What do you call the not pointy part?
Base.
Base. What do you call this edge? Where your ribs would be? Costal surface. Very good. What do you call the depression that you learned last term? Hilum, hilus. The notch would be more this part. This is your cardiac notch, where your heart would be. or sorry, this one, where your heart would be. So on the outside of your lungs, you have some differences. You're supposed to know right from left by looking at the lung. So there's two differences you want to look at. Let's try on these lungs. One of the differences is, if you look, this one has 2 lobes with 1 line. This one has 3 lobes with 2 lines. So the one with 2 lobes is which side?
Left.
That's on your left because your heart takes up one of the lobes. So your cardiac notch counts as like number 3. So you have 2 lobes with 1 fissure. This one you have, the heart's not there, so you have 3 lobes with 2 fissures.
Okay.
So let's name those. What do you call the fissures that are at a funny angle like that one?
Oblique fissure.
Oblique. The one that goes straight across?
Horizontal.
Yay! So here I have my 3 lobes, horizontal oblique fissure, and my 2 lobes, oblique fissure with a cardiac notch missing. Yay!
Okay.
That's all the name it, claim it stuff. More